Welcome back to another episode of ASOS. Ryan, you gonna do some?
Sorts of sports.
I like it. James, you gonna do any sort of retribution sort of thing? All right, we're gonna get to that. All right.
Why didn't you take like the fucking spiral ring part off? It's like 3 seconds. That computer paper's
bitch, like this one doesn't have the little things. I can't do it.
He got them Dollar General fucking.
Yeah, like where did you get that?
Is it bothering you?
Yeah, it's just it reminds you of the printers from like 1992.
Nah, he got that. He got that. Time's been rough for dad at work. We're going to Value City for back to school shopping.
You got $8. Get 2 color notebooks, 1 pencil. You better keep that pencil for the whole year.
It is our 100th episode.
Motherfucker, show
you bitches are complaining about this shit. Like, why do you care about this? Why does this care? Like, it's 100 episodes.
What was the Power Rangers all brand book? Beetle Wars?
Beetleborgs.
You got a Beetleborgs trapper keeper? Is that what you're doing? All right, welcome to episode 100. I am now your illustrious hostess with the mostest, K. Dot, because we heard your complaints. James is no longer allowed to host the shows. I'm sure.
Wow.
It's like, bitch, I told you to do it. So why are you
doing this? But, all right,
so why the fuck are you
just calling me a bitch?
Yeah, bitch. That's saying good. I love you though.
Yeah, why can't I mute him?
Good.
I guess I don't have full hosting abilities over here on my end.
Yes.
But yeah, this is episode 100, at least 100 of the ASOS episodes that you guys have seen tuning into our show. Once again, thanks for all the love, the support, making us through to 100 episodes. I mean, shit, thanks to us for getting through 100 episodes and still kind of liking each other. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. Yeah, I know, Ryan. It comes and goes, at least for all of it. And then you got Keem just staring out into space over there. You just zoned out.
Are you playing video games right now?
What?
You son of a bitch.
You
are
playing a video game?
All right, so is it 2K or Madden?
I honestly would move. I would be moving. Like, I would be like,
all right.
He's got the steering wheel.
Yeah, I'm that guy when I play like video games. I'm like,
All right, wait. So are you watching What If right now? Like, what's going on?
No, but TNT is on in the background though.
Oh my God.
TNT, they're showing one of like 3 movies, probably Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Warriors Bucks are about to play.
All right, fine. All right, well, all right. You see, it's completely off the rails because I'm fucking hosting, and you know how I was just a fucking member of the pod. So Lord knows how this is gonna go. James, I'm probably gonna rely on you a lot during this pod because I don't know if I can have a list. We're just gotta wing it. I mean, we're looking at wildcard weekend's about to start. We did all our picks and shit. It's the end of the season. We got to recap that shit. Black Monday just happened. And funny, it's Black Monday since there's only one black coach left in the NFL. So how about we start there? All right. Black fucking Monday in the NFL. What are the names? Joe Judge, gone. Brian Flores, gone. David Culley, gone. Guess not really surprising to anybody. But who else? Who else was that? Who else got out?
I think that was it.
Is that it?
No.
I feel like
not gonna lie. I keep up with the Giants so little that I did not know Joe Judge was black.
He's not.
He's not.
But you named him.
I'm just saying there's one black coach left in the NFL. Black Monday, but not all the Keys got fired were black. David Culley, I mean, if I'm just looking complexion-wise, barely.
Not just doing the black people.
Oh, Nagy. Yeah.
Matt Nagy. All right.
I know Freya's happy about that one.
And Zimmer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mike Zimmer.
Oh yeah, Zimmer.
That's what I'm saying. There's like a lot of fucking things.
I called Zimmer getting fired. I'm so excited. Like, I hope they make the right choice and pick somebody good.
Also,
probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah. What, Ryan?
2 of the firings confused me.
Okay.
One of the firings surprised me.
Okay.
The other 2, first of all, Matt Nagy made it through the season. God bless you, man. You are awful. You were just a terrible coach, but you made it. You made it, and I'm proud of you for doing it. Go wash dishes somewhere, bud.
Ooh, that rough.
The Texans firing today is a little bit surprising.
Yep.
Because it's just, I don't know, it's just Houston. It's like, I don't understand. They're like, here's a pile of shit. We're going to give you $1 million. And 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 we're going to give you $ win. And he was like, did some winning, right?
More than he should have, in my opinion.
Davis Mills, towards the end of the season, starting to look good. That offense starting to look okay. The defense was
Vic Fangio.
Yeah,
pretty good. Oh, yeah. And then they were like, no, that wasn't good enough with your third string quarterback.
But I think we got to go back. Wasn't the hire itself strange as shit?
If you go back to our old
but it's a results dependent sport, right? And he's starting to get results with a team that should not have gotten any results. That team should have been trash. And they actually looked okay. They looked okay.
Yeah, they beat some good teams. Didn't they beat the Titans?
I believe so. They did beat the Titans.
Titans.
So if you go back to when he first got hired, we all said it on this pod, like, hey, we know this, like, he's going into a shit show. Like, it was a thing that we did the same shit with the Houston Rockets too, because it did it at the same time. They hired a black coach in a shitstorm. And it's like, hey, here, you have an opportunity, but not really.
Go make lemonade with these lemons.
Right. At least the Rockets kept Silas.
It's the Barack Obama treatment. Let's light the economy on fire and give it to the black guy. Like, that's what happened, right? It's like the black guy doesn't get a shot unless it's absolute dog shit. But even with I even thought when Culley got initially hired, my thought was, Houston's tanking. Is there a chance that he's fired because they don't have the first overall pick?
I mean, like, you want too much?
Maybe in their head, like I agree with James. I think what happened with him is like extremely similar to what happened with Steven Silas with the Rockets, because it's like, hey, you get the job. It's Houston for both teams, and it's like you get the job, you got the star, you think your star is going to be there, like because he was hired in January before that wave of shit happened with Deshaun Watson, and it was like, okay, now you've got nothing. Like you thought you were coming in with like a superstar quarterback and you're gonna at least he could carry that shit team to more than whatever, like to a better.
I think Deshaun was already having issues, like when they hired him.
Nope, he was not. David Culley
wanted out.
He wanted out.
When they hired him, Deshaun wanted out.
But he hadn't been gotten.
I don't think like the legal shit didn't happen yet. But he did not want to play there anymore.
That was all the part of Wes thinking that there might have been something coming from ownership. Because you remember the lawyer was like neighbors with the owner and all this was happening after Deshaun had made it clear that he was not going to suit up for the Texans anymore.
Ever again. Right. And at least with Silas, to bring it back to him, like I want to congratulate him because he's still coaching for the Rockets. And
he's got Christian Wood looks like a baller. Wow.
They're going to trade him.
But I think
for sure.
The through line for the Texans, though, are Culley was no distractions, no bullshit. I'm surprised the team performed the way they did with everything that's happening with it. Yep. But we also got to remember the Houston Texans organization as a whole has been shit for a few years now.
Has been, still is.
No, I mean, it's still, that's the thing. That's the through line. Is I think Culley, for the most part, actually was the best thing to happen in the organization.
Dude, remember, I forgot Deshaun Watson was a person for like the last 14 weeks of the season. Like,
Keem, what you got?
No, like seriously, that team was playing okay enough that it wasn't, to me, it wasn't.
You said some questionable shit as far as Tyrod Taylor and Davis Mills. We were going
through. You did.
Just to confirm that I knew what I'm talking about, Adam Schefter, like article like that, Deshaun Watson requested a trade on like Thursday in January, like 28th. David Culley was hired like the week before. And so like before Deshaun ever like actually requested a trade, like there were.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying like he officially requested a trade, but it came out that he wasn't going to play for them again before that. Yeah, he officially requested a trade like in January, but we all knew beforehand that he wasn't going to be there.
When did we know? The season had just ended like 2 weeks ago. Is my thing.
I'm trying to figure that out.
We're in the playoffs.
That's playoff time. That's playoff time. Like when did he say
the Texans weren't there? This season ended well before that too. This season was over. He's like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm done." Remember him and JJ Watt walked off the field, and then it was like JJ Watt was like, "I'm sorry, I waited another year. I wasted another one of your prime years."
I remember that.
Right.
And then right after that, it was like sources close to Deshaun is like, "Hey, he wants out. He's not going to play there anymore." You remember that?
Saying anything?
Right. And then it officially came out later.
because that was the thing. You remember Deshaun also wanted some say in who they were going to do as a head coach. After they had hired David Culley was when he said, all right, I'm out. I'm done. Like,
because you remember they were like, oh, he's hired him. And it's like, all right, well, does this change anything for you? And then it's like, nah.
Right.
Okay, so they were trying to make a hire to save him, basically.
And it didn't work. So
I think it was twofold. I think they're like, all right, I think they're so disconnected. They're like, all right, you know what? We're just gonna hire somebody black. Maybe that make them happy. And then at the same time, it's like, all right, here's a stopgap. Because they damn sure weren't. They were planning to give it to McDaniels, right? So it's like, all right, we'll wait for him to be ready. And until then, we'll have this black guy here. So maybe Deshaun will shut up for a whole year.
Shut up and dribble.
But I mean, that team was dog
shit.
Shut
up and just sit there. Because
after the 2020, you remember Deshaun's stats after 2020?
It's ridiculous.
What, 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and these motherfuckers had 12 losses. It's just, that's bad. But I mean, that's the thing. It was like the only thing I don't understand from a Houston, Texas standpoint, right, is unless you pull off the Deshaun Watson trade and you have a plethora of picks, who wants to go to Houston?
Nobody.
James Harden.
Who?
We don't.
James Harden.
No, we don't.
Harden.
He wanted to get out of Houston.
He loves those strippers. Those are his favorite strippers.
Oh, he can go there in the offseason, but he ain't playing there.
No, dude, he brought them all to New York.
Yeah.
No, he did. Didn't he pay him?
I heard stories.
He paid for him to go to New York, though.
Yeah, I heard stories. Yeah.
That'd be hilarious. Your next coach of the Houston Texans, you see the beard silhouette just walk through. I'm
back.
Hey, I can give him like a clipboard and like the white collar shirt, like
all the way buttoned up. The most surprising fire was definitely Flores. There has to be something between him and management that isn't going right because
that's what's being reported.
The product on the field.
Yeah, that's what they.
No offensive line. Still, they just don't have one, and winning 8 of their last 9 games.
Well, the story with Flores is that they've not been on the same page from the get-go. Flores was not a Tua guy. He was a Herbert guy. The front office still went with Tua. And what made it extremely hard to deal with is that if you got a Brian Flores who then looks at the stat sheet and says, about that Herbert guy you guys said no to me about, it makes it really, really hard to have a meeting with the dude when you're looking across from him. You're like, you did this to me.
Basically, what I heard, what I read was like that there was beef between him and the GM. And that basically the Dolphins like ownership had to choose between him and the GM has been there 20 years, which I would just like to highlight. What have the Dolphins done in 20 years for to justify you to keep that GM? Like what? Like what? Like no, really, like
friends,
like,
bro.
What?
They friends.
Like what legendary player did he draft? Like you got to tell me. You got to help me out here because it doesn't make any sense to me. Why you were like, you know what? In the last 17 years before we got this guy, we had 1 winning season. He came 3 years, gave us 2. You know what? Let's get rid of this guy. Like it doesn't click to me. So like Ryan was saying, I would categorize those 2 firings, like Culley and Flores, as just stupid. It's stupid. Like it's dumb. It makes no sense. Like why would you do it?
I mean, their last Super Bowl, I was negative 16 years old, and I feel old as fuck. So clearly, the last 20 years haven't been going that great, right?
Man, that's the thing is Miami's known for having that flash season with a quarterback that everybody kind of wrote off, right? Like have Chad Pennington one season will make the playoffs, and it's like, oh my God, what's that? And then Chad Pennington reverts back to Chad Pennington, and then you have Ryan Tannehill, the whole Adam Gase deal, all that shit. It was always a lot. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Even though Fitzpatrick, there's a lot of shit that just happens in Miami that just don't make any sense. Which even now that I'm looking at it, if Flores was not a Tua guy, is there any chance that even last season the reason that Tua got to play was because the front office meddling? Because there's a lot of shit that you can look at and say that Flores probably is like, look, I'm not dealing with it. Miami feels a lot like the stories you had of Washington over the last decade, right? That you got upper management just meddling in the shit that the coach is doing. And the only separation is that they actually were showing some success on the field compared to what's happening in Washington. Dysfunction.
Yeah, last year, remember, it was like Fitzpatrick was playing really well. And then one day last year as Fitzpatrick was playing really well, and then one day they were just like, Tua's the starter, Fitzpatrick's on the bench, and then 1 week later they're like, Tua's on the bench, Fitzpatrick's the starter, and I was like, well, that's not good.
They'll bring him in as a sub and some shit, and
it's just
going back to the Flores firing in itself, right? A week before, Jay Glazer was doing like his in and outs for coaches, and he thought that Flores was safe, but he's like, he heard some shit that like it might not be the case, and if that happens, then the Dolphins are stupid, and it happened. The Dolphins are stupid. Also, I hope you guys are able to spotlight the different mouthpieces of ownership that go around the league, because now you're starting to hear all these other stories like, oh, Brian Flores told Tua, like, if I knew he was going to be this bad, we should have drafted Mac Jones type shit. Like, y'all heard that one?
Yeah, no, you're hearing that they're trying to pit what the initial thing is that they were trying to pit Tua against Flores. And what you're seeing is that they were trying to say that the organization made a decision to stick with Tua over Flores is the way that they're trying to frame it. But even if you go with that, it makes no fucking sense. So like there's not a lot that they can hold any weight there on. Because if you look, just going around to everybody, if you had to pick between Brian Flores and Tua Tagovailoa, who are you picking?
Tua.
I'm taking Flores, but I also don't think like Tua's bad. Like he's not. I mean, I think he can be like at least an average quarterback. Like he hasn't done terribly. Like he's not Geno fucking Smith. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not throwing games away out there. He's won them a couple games.
That's a shot. He don't need that right now.
He's not like Jamarcus Russell.
Fair enough.
He's not Jamarcus.
Jamarcus Russell had better numbers than Trevor Lawrence too, by the way.
I don't even think he's Marcus Mariota. I think he has a better skill set. Like I do believe in Tua, but my thing is that like if you're going to have the head guy who has your team playing above what it is that anybody's expecting your team to do and do it 2 years in a row, I don't know.
Hey,
and if you also have a team that had a winning record with Ryan Fitzpatrick last year, and if anybody in the front office said we need to start the rookie for the sake of starting the rookie, you know the person's doesn't have any fucking sense.
Also, here's the good news. They're still going to be trash next year. And now there's a good head coach out there, hopefully going to get himself into a better position somewhere else. So
that's right. And I think
grain of salt.
Flores is just shot up to the top of the list as far as people that want a head coach, as much as they're trying to shit on him in the press right now.
You know where they shouldn't put him?
Who's first?
Is Chicago.
He's second.
So I'd love to talk about that. Like with some of the job openings, like you got Jacksonville, Chicago, Minnesota. There are some others that I can't think of right now. But like what pairings would you make like of the coordinators that you like right now? What pairing, like who would you put where? Like Flores would be good in Chicago. However, if it was my ideal pairing, I'd probably go Leftwich just because of Fields.
I think Fields has to be the primary objective in Chicago right now.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure. But
Flores, I think, would get good shit out of Fields. Don't get me wrong, but Leftwich is more of an offensive guy. Flores is more of a defensive guy.
I think with the Flores thing at this point, if there is any truth to the Tua stuff and that he wants to pick his guy, if Fields is not the guy that he wants, then might cause some friction there.
All right. So I think Flores is going to Houston. I think that's the only reason why they made this move. Looking at it, like, remember, they fired Culley today. Now, why didn't they do it on Monday? They probably didn't do it on Monday because Flores got fired on Monday.
I thought
they weren't planning on it.
Weren't they all on vacation already on Monday?
I don't know. But yeah.
I mean, they knew they were in the playoffs. It might as well be.
So I think Flores is going to Houston. I also think that Bieniemy is going to Chicago.
Can we back up real quick? I just want to do a follow-up on that Houston thing. 2 questions.
Okay.
Does Flores want to go to Houston? And then
For
second,
Deshaun.
That was with my second part. Did Deshaun change his mind on wanting to stay in Houston with Brian Flores as the top guy?
Yep.
Well, because that's what wasn't the rumor that Deshaun the Dolphins were the only team he was willing to get to, right?
No, it was one of them. But
it was one of them.
He wanted to go there.
Flores. But he definitely wanted to go, right?
Yeah, for Flores only. So I think Flores is going to Houston. I think Bieniemy is going to Chicago. I think Vic Fangio is going to be a defensive coordinator. I don't think he's getting another head coaching job. He's going to be a damn good D coordinator. If you got somebody that has a great offense but a terrible defense, shit, Vic Fangio might go to fucking LA and be with the damn Chargers. Who knows?
That'd be good.
Chargers need some help.
Derwin James.
If I'm looking at this list and looking at some of the coordinators, there's a couple guys that I'm looking like. I'm still on the Jim Harbaugh to Chicago train. I'm not off that train.
That works too. That works.
If I'm Chicago, I back up the Brinks truck for the guy, right? And the dude that you could just hand over the keys to the franchise and be like, hey, make the shit happen. Because I also know Jim Harbaugh is not going to make the same mistake he made in San Francisco and make sure that this contract is ironclad and he has say in what is happening personnel-wise so he doesn't get fucked over like he did in San Fran. But if Brian, I think even looking through if I'm Brian Flores, in all honesty, I'm sitting this year out. I take a break. I take a 1 year break. The same way that Doug Peterson right now is looked upon as like the guy who's kind of around as this shadowy figure that like, who's going to make the play for Doug Peterson? Because he's taken a year off.
The Giants.
I think the Giants will. Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I don't think it's a terrible idea.
I don't think it's a terrible idea either. If I were
he's not doing it.
Me or Peterson.
I would honestly, if I'm Flores and I'm looking through the list of teams that are available, I might take this seed. I might take this year off. Because I mean, if you're talking about leaving Miami where you just got into it with the front office, do you want to go to Houston with a front office that's absolute dog shit? Like that to me is what?
Like the front office is not going to change. But going back to your point about Brian Flores taking time off, I was listening to a former head coach today discuss what Joe Judge should do in terms of should he take time off, and he was like, he's actually young, like that was his reason. And Joe Judge and Flores are the same age, so if he's saying that Flores should not take time off because he's young,
I think that the reason I would look at those two situations and look at them differently. Joe Judge left a bad taste in everybody's mouth with the way that everything happened in New York. He's got to regain his positioning as a coach that knows anything. Because I'd actually argue right now, Joe Judge talked himself out of a job in the last week of the season, right? From what he was talking the shit against Washington, then the 3rd and 9, and then the Kenny Galladay just deciding I'm not going to reach out for the football was enough that it probably deaded that. And I also heard there was a meeting or something that happened afterwards that just did not go well. And it was it. Joe Judge needs to go back. What he needs to be doing is knocking on Bill Belichick's door and say, hey, Dad, can you let me back? Like,
can you let me in?
Was he a special teams coordinator?
I believe so. I think he was a special teams player. I'm not 100% sure. But the thing with Brian Flores right now, everyone's scratching their heads over this move that they made, right? Brian Flores, because of what he did with Miami, is not leaving a bad taste in anybody's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hot commodity. And if I'm a hot commodity, I'm looking at the list of teams. I was going to ask you guys, what is the most attractive place to go to?
I was gonna say that's a thing too, because you got to consider, okay, the Vikings also have a pretty good roster.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Vikings do have, you've got a young stud receiver with Justin Jefferson. Thielen is getting a little bit older, but he can still play. You got Dalvin Cook, even though he gets hurt, Mattinson fills in just fine. So you got 2 decent running backs, decent line. There are some pieces in place in defense. Defense could use some work though, but if I'm Flores, I can work my magic with that defense. And then on offense and go and do fucking work. And then, to be fair, the Bears have pieces as well, and so does Denver. Denver does too. We haven't talked about Denver. Denver has a great receiver core, and they have a decent defense. If they can stay healthy, they have Denver just probably needs I think they need a line.
Denver's my second favorite spot of this list if I'm a free agent head coach.
No.
Yeah.
No. Here's the big reason. What's the biggest? I'm staking with Flores. I'm not talking about the Broncos.
Oh, you're not talking about. Okay, all right, go ahead.
No.
Make it sure.
Like
we know we can't trust your Broncos takes.
Shut up. With Flores, right? Go ahead. Damn. All right, with Flores, right?
Yeah.
The biggest issue he had in Miami was the QB. And the fact that he couldn't keep an offensive coordinator. So why would I go somewhere like? Do you trust Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
You
more
do.
than a lot
I
of
do.
folks.
Now you ask me, do I trust him? Do I expect him to win the Super Bowl? Not without a great defense. I don't. But could he? Is he good enough to win a Super Bowl if you have enough pieces? Good coaching? He is. He is.
Okay.
Like we're not gonna sit up here and talk about.
I'm just asking if you
He
trust
would
him.
put up 31 points, and then the defense would give up 34 in the fourth quarter.
He's
All right.
not a bad quarterback.
Okay.
He's not.
So my next question is: do you trust any QB in Denver?
Yeah.
Teddy B's decent. I don't.
Brett Rippin?
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't take him if I'm Flores. If we're just picking QBs, no, I wouldn't trust him.
Right.
I'm not, but
So,
see, the thing is,
go ahead.
like, when we're talking about this, though, from the best landing spot, right?
Mhm.
I'm also looking at front offices. I'm
Mhm.
looking at cap space. I'm
Yes.
looking at where it is it can go, and I can actually make a difference. Denver Broncos has a GM or team president in John Elway that just wants somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing to hand anything to. He's willing to do anything to win it. That to me is something that I look at and I'm like, hey, that's an attractive fucking spot. And if you've
And
got
he
a
goes
coach
out
that
and gets
goes
the
there,
quarterback. He
when
will
you
go
got
get the
a
quarterback.
Russell Wilson who has Denver on the list,
Aaron
that
Rodgers.
to me, Aaron Rodgers is on the shit.
Has
The
Denver on the
defense,
list.
So
okay.
if he gets them, then okay. But if you go in there just with what they have, nah.
James,
I'm not dealing with Drew Lock.
is what situation is he going to get that's like, oh, you got a great QB.
Right.
Like, go
Houston.
and just
Those
build.
jobs
Like,
aren't usually open. And
Houston.
you keep saying the Houston thing. Deshaun Watson has said
He-
a lot, and he hasn't said a lot. And the ownership is not done right by him. I
Mhm.
still
Sexual
don't
assault.
think that if Brian Flores becomes the head coach there, I think Deshaun has said enough that he would just feel wrong even suiting up for the team again. There's a lot
sexual
to it.
assault. Like, he still has to deal with that. That's like, let's not sweep that under the rug. Like,
Oh, yeah,
let's
no.
not just act like,
No,
hey,
no,
because
it's
also
some-
it's some shit.
he
It's some
didn't get
shit.
traded. He
He-
still
It's
has
some
a
shit.
case. He has
Also-
a case.
He
Some
can't
shit.
get a good massage for like 400 miles now. So
Like, he has a case, bro.
he's
He might not
really
win.
got to move.
I'm not.
All right, so going around, Keem, give me your top two coaching destinations, and we're gonna get off this topic.
Denver and Chicago.
Ryan,
Denver, Chicago for sure.
James,
Vegas and Chicago.
Definitely forgot about Vegas, but it's
Yep,
not
I
the
know. Like
I think-
out of all the teams, only one of them is in the playoffs.
that doesn't matter.
that's
I
fair.
think
But I also
It
think
does.
Rich Bisaccia them making the playoffs.
I
is
hope.
probably
I hope.
better.
I hope. I hope Rich keeps the job though.
I think
I
the Raiders aren't that. They wouldn't do that to him. They usually are pretty loyal to the guys that come up. I will give you that as an organization. You guys are fairly
Well,
loyal.
I know, but you know the whole like as soon as like I think it was like a week ago when we had a shot to make the playoffs. Like, you know, the story came out. It's like, oh, Jim Harbaugh is interested to come back in the NFL and coaching the Raiders. And I'm like, we're going for a playoff push. Why would you say that? Like, who brought this story up?
I was hoping you guys would fucking destroy so that David Carr
the
could
Chargers.
open up and be fairly cheap.
You talking about Derek Carr?
Derek Carr, David Carr. My bad, Derek. Yeah, I want Derek in
David-
the Washington football
David
team
Carr
or
is super
Commander
cheap.
uniform.
Is
I
it
wanna-
Commanders or Red Tails?
I think Commanders is probably looking like leader in the clubhouse. All right, off of Black Monday. Even though Mike Tomlin's the only black head coach right now, and hopefully there's going to be more.
And
who knows what happens with that?
He
shit.
had to win for 15 straight years to stay
Yeah, no
there.
shit. All right, before we get into the shit that's happening as far as wild card weekend and all that, I do want to go back and take a look at what was happening for us in the pick segment. So let's see exactly what happened last week and see where it is that we all ended up at the
I
end
feel
of the
like-
season.
I feel like you saw me get progressively more tired as the weeks went on. And so my picks got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, you had a bad week, but guess what? You're still not in last place.
Wait, I got 5 right, more right than he did.
I
And
know.
I was
He's
only
down by
down by-
7.
Huh?
He's down by 7, my brother.
I was down by
All
5
right,
last week.
all right, with James, who ended up where on week 18? What happened week 18?
There's a
Okay.
I demand account because I remember being told.
I mean, look,
He's
they
an-
all on YouTube. Look,
He's
fam.
an accountant.
You,
he could be Joe Budden's accountant for all I know.
nah, he don't got an account.
No, that means the numbers
they
are right.
had
You just don't
accounting.
get to see them.
I actually talked to Parks today too on Twitter about the Dolphins. That was fun. All right,
Legit. What the fuck happened in week 18?
yeah, I'm going to it. Calm down.
This is like the best part of his season so far because fantasy didn't go well. Washington didn't go well. This is what he's holding on to. He's
the only thing I have right now.
I mean, not really. You didn't win.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I didn't come in last place, guys.
Oh, we established very early on, after about week 8, no one was catching James. So we were fighting for second place. So kiss my ass. You were all in the same fucking boat.
2 is not a winner, and 3 nobody remembers. Hey, I am 1.
Motherfucker, go back to playing FIFA or some shit. Leave me alone. All right.
All right. So looking at it, last week, Ryan got 7 right. Me and K-Dot got 9 right, and Keem got 12 right.
That boy Keem.
Ooh,
so,
that makes
season
sense.
total.
Season total.
Season
Roll
total.
that into playoffs. Just gonna roll it right into the playoffs, buddy.
Oh, all right. So last place is Keem with 160.
Hey man.
Second to last place is Ryan with 162. K-Dot came in second place with 167, and I'm at 181.
No, you're not.
Fuck you.
No, you're not. Recount.
Guess what? You guys can go ahead and do it.
No, I'm good.
I don't care.
I got an accountant for that. I can't count.
Shit, I just remembered. I still need to send Keem $250. I haven't done that yet. I'm getting there. Look at it. Yeah.
I mailed him a MoneyGram.
I think I'm gonna wait till the end of like the actual season, like after the Super Bowl.
Yo.
Just say, here you go.
You gotta go.
Ryan
You gotta.
texted me and said he was like, "I'm a money order. I'm gonna send you 1 cent a day."
Money order? You Western Union that shit over to you?
$250 in 1 cent increments over money order. So he has to go pick that shit up every time.
What the fuck? All right.
That'd be amazing. All right, so that's how it ended up as far as the season picks. But James, I'm going to keep it with you. I think because of how few games there are, maybe we could be a little more long-winded. Because I don't really have anything else other than this particular segment.
We only need to really talk about 3 games, I guess, like the big 3.
I know we want to break them all down. So we can break them all down. It's not that
I'm
many
talking about the 3 important games. There was 3 important. Oh no, you're talking about this week. Yeah, I'm talking about last week.
Last we could go over some of the stuff that happened last week, but I don't think anybody cares because the playoffs. But like, do you have anything that you like? I'm sure you probably want to talk about the Raiders Chargers game. Is that correct?
A little bit.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right.
I'll let you cook. It was a happy
how he
moment
said
for you.
it. It's how he said it.
All right. So number 1,
Just a smidge.
I'm fucking scared of Herbert for next year.
As you should be.
That fucker. God damn it.
I've been telling you, man.
But,
no, I was joking. He's still not top.
But he's going.
Top eight, though. I told you.
He's going to lose top receiver.
I'm host, so when I hear something interesting, plus let James got a fist in the wind. Who's your top 5 above Herbert? Name 5 quarterbacks better than Herbert.
Herbert.
Team.
Healthy. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen. Who else is out there?
Brady.
The Patrick Mahomes guy.
Brady.
Lamar. There you go.
All right, there we go.
Burrow.
But
I'll get to it later. All right. So with the Raiders and Chargers game, I'm scared of Herbert, but Mike Williams is not going to be there next year because he's a free agent, and somebody's going to pay him a boatload of money.
I don't know. They might re-up because Keenan Allen's getting old.
Keenan Allen's still
in football years.
Yeah, but I mean, you saw they did Tyrell Williams, like the second receiver on the team. Like they'll let him go.
Yeah, but he wasn't like he's a guy.
Mike Williams is a big body with sticky hands.
You
keep those kind of people.
All right, we'll see what the Chargers do. I like the revenge that Carr got on Bosa. That was funny. After we lost to him the first time, he said, once you hit Carr, he curls up in a little ball and he cries. And then Carr came back and whooped that ass. So it was funny. I like that. I like knowing that Keenan Allen used to be a Raiders fan growing up. There's a lovely picture of him in a Raiders hat, drinking out of a straw. It was great.
Dude,
and Sean Merriman.
When they're children.
Sean Merriman got roasted on Twitter. So that was the highlight of it for me. And we're on to Cincinnati.
That was the
That's all I got.
best game I've
Of the year?
seen in a long time. In terms
It
of
shouldn't have been,
excitement.
though.
No, but in terms of, it was the perfect scenario. Both of y'all could have taken a knee to tie, and y'all both would have gone in. And
We're not
once
doing
it
that.
went to overtime, I was like, holy shit, we may see something we have never seen before and we'll never see again. And it got this close because the whole thing after the game was it Eckler? It was like, were y'all going to take a knee? And then he's like, yeah, we were. So, and kudos to the Raiders because you guys did what you had to do, but that game was crazy. Like 8 for 8 on 4th down for Herbert. Like,
You know what?
Staley
I
calling
think
that
I think we
fucking
told
timeout.
him. Nah, we were still gonna run the ball, but
Yeah, you were gonna run
Yeah.
the ball. You were gonna run
Nah.
the ball, but I don't think anybody was pressing.
I know, but we were gonna run the ball. But Staley said some bullshit where he was like, "Yeah, I had to get my best run defense, like in the game. That's why I called the timeout." But looking at it, he took out Kenneth Murray, the linebacker, and put in another safety, the safety that doesn't know his run gaps. So I'm like,
if you are,
the fuck is the point of that?
if you're overthinking, you're underthinking, and that's 100% true 100% of the time. And that's what he did to himself.
In what world, if you're saying you want to stop the run, you're going to take out your inside linebacker?
He overthought.
And everybody knew we're running. Like that makes no sense whatsoever.
I don't know. I get Brandon Staley in defense. I mean, I usually trust. But the question I'll have, if there's one thing as far as the before the game stuff, when it came to the Chargers and Raiders, where everybody's floating the idea that they just kneel out the entire game, that was bullshit. Never going to happen. Division rivals. You play to win the game, right? Yeah. But after we had put on the show that they had put on, and you're in deep into overtime, would it have ever crossed any of your guys' minds as a coach of the team to say, "Get out there and kneel"?
Yes, just because of the fact you don't want to risk a punt, a field goal block. But other than that, it's like
a field goal block, or so there was still like 30 seconds on the clock. If that field goal had been like 55, I would have considered kneeling it because you kick it, you miss, you're giving Herbert a 55-yard field with 25 seconds left.
You got to remember what you're talking about, though. You got to remember what you're talking about.
Your whole
Carlson
job is to get your from 55.
No, he don't miss.
He's been on my fantasy team this year. He has missed.
Not at home. He don't miss. Look at his record.
Would you risk the playoffs because Dylan Carlson don't miss?
He don't miss.
No.
He don't miss. Hey, not at home.
Okay, got ice in his veins. Like I see the fucking punter every week. Like, yeah, another game-winning kick by Carlson. Like another one.
He don't miss though.
Every week.
He don't miss.
Away game. At home, he don't miss.
If the weather's below 60 degrees, I mean, he might. But he might.
He don't miss.
He don't miss.
No, he was in. I think he was in Minnesota at first too. It's cold out.
Is he the second best kicker in the league?
I mean, I know Tucker's one.
Tucker
I mean, I know that's what we know. That
everybody knows
I know.
that.
Like, I'm not even like.
I know.
arguing.
That's what I'm asking. Is he
Hey,
second?
who do y'all play next week? I forget.
We play Cincinnati.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Perfect fucking segue. Do you have anything else on the Raiders' previous game?
No, fuck the Chargers.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna let you handle the picks since you usually handle the picks. So
cool.
We'll go through it and go through that.
All right. So first game, Saturday, 4:30, Raiders at Bengals. Who y'all got? I have the Raiders, of course.
Bengals.
It's gonna be a tough game. Okay.
Bengals.
Okay.
Raiders.
Cool.
I think the Raiders are the safer pick. Absolutely safer pick.
No,
Wow.
the Bengals are a safe pick. They're at home.
I think the Raiders
They
are a safe pick.
Why are they a safe pick, sir?
I am hedging my bet, so it looks like when I'm right about this, it looks like I did.
Shut up.
They mollywopped the Raiders this season. They killed them.
Look,
Yeah, it was
Joe
what,
Burrow's
34-13?
a fucking man. The only thing I will tell Joe Burrow is please have some sort of self-preservation, sir. Your career is not going to last long if you
But
continue
he
doing what you're
doesn't,
doing.
though. He doesn't.
I know.
So
it's physically impossible. He's not Brett Favre. He has too many brain cells. There's
Carson
absolutely
Palmer.
no chance that he
Hey,
gets.
don't do that.
He is bro. History does nothing but repeat itself. It does nothing but repeat itself. And I think he is going to be that quarterback who is really good for a while, never wins a championship, but like maybe gets hurt or something, but he just never gets where he should go with his talent.
So Carson Palmer and better Andy Dalton because they really had two back-to-back sort of.
Yeah, definitely better. But Carson Palmer was good. Like he was
Carson
good.
Palmer was great for like 2 seasons. But yeah, so that
It
fucking
was more than 2 seasons.
he was not saying he was great for 2 seasons.
Oh yeah.
All right,
That
so
wide
going
receiver
back,
room was insane. Come on.
it still is.
Chris Henry, TJ
Exactly.
Smith-Manzada.
No. It still is.
History is
still
repeated.
Yeah.
Oh, would you take this wide receiver core over the one that Carson had at his prime?
Yes, for sure. Not even close.
No,
Yeah, really?
I can't say that now just because they haven't proven it for an extended period of time. But
their tight end even
they're
has
well
a
on their way.
similar name. TJ Ushamoa, like, come on. It's repeating itself. Let's move on.
Chris Henry was fucking filthy, and I don't think a
rest
lot of
in
people
peace.
remember as a fucking third option.
Rest in peace. All right. So looking at the Bengals, the only way I could see the Raiders winning is the D-line. The Bengals have one of the worst offensive pass blocking lines in the league. The Raiders have the best in terms of win rate on pass rushes without blitzing. They're number one in that. And also looking at it, I looked at the top QB pressures in the NFL for this season. We have the first and third player on the list. Max Crosby's number one, and Ngakwe's number 3, but I'm worried about the second person. I think it's Hendrickson.
Mm-hmm.
He plays for the Bengals. That fucker killed us. So we'll see. I mean, it comes down to if Max and Ngakwe can get pressure, Burrow's not going to not look down the field. So he's going to take sacks. So if we can get pressure, Jamar Chase can't get open, we win the game. But if we don't win, then it's over. So
I mean, it's also I think the most important thing is you get pressure rushing 4, right?
Yeah.
Because that takes away the middle of the field. It takes away, you can double Jamar, and you also don't really have to worry about the play action as much because you have coverage for when he hands it off or when he doesn't. The issue is if he starts chucking it early.
Yep.
And then they start going to play action and then they get a run game going. They're almost impossible to stop because you're going to be fighting an uphill battle. You're going to be stacking the box. He's going to find Jamar Chase. And y'all going to get y'all's run game going early and often. Less Derek Carr, more
that's doable looking at
I know
how Jacobs has been running recently, but
just keep the ball out of
the Waller's back, thank God.
Hand. Yep. Yeah. He was like, man, I just wanted to drink and get high because I couldn't play.
I don't think they have anybody to cover Waller. I personally don't.
They didn't the last time either.
And here's my thing with them as far as like defending the Bengals. I think you switch it up. I think you put Hayward on T. Higgins. I think you double Chase. And like so you can kind of like you can hurt that receiving core that way, in my opinion. Then they're banking on the tight end.
Who's second Boyd then?
And Boyd. Hey, man. Hey, I'm just telling you you want to take the lesser of 3 evils. You want to take the lesser. Chase will kill you. Tyler Boyd won't beat you in a game. I mean, he won't win a game for you.
All right, he won't.
What game is Tyler Boyd won for anybody? He's a good receiver. Don't get me wrong, but he's not.
I think he caught like 70-yard bombs like twice in 2 weeks.
Yeah. How many 300-yard 3-touchdown games does he have?
Come on, fam. We're not talking about that.
No, but really, that's what I'm saying. Like, what game is he just gonna? If you just like,
I'm not saying he's gonna take over, but he can beat you.
He can win some routes. Yes, he can win some routes
and score.
I don't think he'll beat you.
He could win some routes
and score.
The thing for me in this matchup is when they played before, Joe Mixon was the one that ran all over the fucking Raiders. Max Crosby's the key to this game. Outside of that, it's what have you done for me lately? The Raiders recently, other than outside of this Chargers game, which was just the greatest game of the season, you guys have played Nick Mullins, Drew Lock, and Carson Wentz after he was on the COVID list the entire season. And all those wins, a combined 9 points is what you guys put up on offense to beat those teams. Cincinnati has been fucking steamrolling for the most part, the teams that they played recently. If you're talking about the Kansas City game, they put up 30-some points, even though Kansas City's defense is suspect going into the playoffs. But outside of the Baltimore Ravens team, 41. Like, they're not, it hasn't been close. Burrow has, if you take the last 4 weeks, Burrow has been an MVP candidate in the last 4 fucking weeks. It's just because he hasn't done enough for the course of the season. It ends up being Max Crosby, because that's the entire thing. Is Max Crosby is getting better. I've said it before. He looks like he says the N-word a lot in his personal life, but the motherfucker can play, and he scares me. Max Crosby scares me. And if Max Crosby's getting in Joe Burrow's face the entire day, it can be an issue. But if they can run the football like they did against the team earlier, it would be a long fucking day for the Vegas Raiders.
Well, Phylon tore his ACL in the last game, and he was giving Herbert fits, just killing the guards. So we have Square. I think his name is Damon Square. He was inactive the whole time, but now we brought him up. I think Hankins is coming back too. He had issues with his back, but he's a big piece too. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Mixon got most of his shit at the end of the game. So we'll see what happens.
When the Raiders played the Bengals earlier this season, here's the stat about Max Crosby. He had a 61.5% pass rush win rate. It was the highest we've seen from any defensive end in the game this season. It was the best one ever. Max Crosby's the issue. But if you can do what you can to keep that away from him and to move as best as you can, I think it could be a long day for Vegas. I'm just saying, overall, if you're looking at who Vegas has beat to get into, you guys were 6-7, and then you had a Washington football team like 2020 run of shitty fucking quarterbacks.
Like, fam, the way you're talking make it seem like Max Crosby plays for the other team. Like, I'm like, huh? I didn't understand what you were saying.
You said it was going to be a long day for the Raiders.
Oh, sorry. I get what you're saying. It could be a long day for the Bengals if Max.
But it's going to be because you got Ngakoue on the other side.
I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, you guys played Nick Mullins, Drew Lock, and fucking and barely beat them. Barely beat them. I don't want to hear it.
Listen to what I just told you.
Washington football team
Listen to what I just told you.
Just like the Washington football team last year that we were criticizing, that they played no quarterbacks on their foot.
Who criticized them? Not me.
Everybody, like, I know Keem has. I've criticized them as far as the lack of quarterback talent.
I don't just fucking win.
I get what you're saying, but if I'm looking at the way that teams have won going into the playoffs, it's the only thing I really hang my hat on. And if I'm also looking at previous experience, they beat the fucking brakes off you guys.
Okay. Yeah. They ran it up in the fourth quarter. They ran the shit up. So, like I said, you got the first and third pass rushing, like, pressure rate leaders in the NFL on the same team. We'll see what happens.
Jamar Chase 80-yard screens.
Fuck.
That's my thing, is that in that game prior, it wasn't Burrow that beat them. It was Mixon.
I don't know if Abram was hurt or if he was playing.
I think he was.
No, was he playing? I think he was playing.
He was hurt. I'm pretty sure. I remember I kept up with some of that game. I just remember keeping up with some of it, but I could be wrong.
Did he get hurt in the game or was he hurt before?
I thought he was hurt.
Who else were you asking?
They went after Abram.
Abram had 12 tackles that game.
Yeah, you know why he had 12? You know why he was working?
Because Mixon kept getting past the second fucking.
No, because they were throwing at him. They were throwing at him.
Joe Burrow had 148 yards passing that game.
They were throwing at him.
He had 148 yards that game.
He had
141 points.
What team do you support? What team do you like?
Huh?
What team do you like?
Not yours.
Exactly. Shut the fuck up. I'm telling you.
All right, moving on.
The worst.
You're a terrible host.
Pass coverage on our team.
You're a terrible host. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's go
this segment. Remember.
Move on. All right, next part. Patriots and Bills. I have the Bills.
Pass.
Okay.
The Bills. Oh my god.
I struggle with this one.
Why?
With this one because it's
Mac Jones looked like a child the last time we played them. We beat them.
It's really not about. It's just this is just a coaching thing for me. It's really gonna come down to what Bill thought. It's really just like whatever Bill decides to do.
It's supposed to be like negative 20 degrees.
Yeah,
the wind's not going to be the same way it was the last time. It's supposed to be like
it just figures it out. I think the Bills should win this game, but I'm picking the Pats. I think the Bills should win this game. And if they do, I won't be surprised. I won't be upset about this pick at all. But I'm picking the Pats because I think Bill revenge season. Bill Belichick revenge season, bitch. So, I don't need Tom Brady. I'm going to show you, bitches. I can do this.
He's in the dance. He's in the dance. He's there. I'm I'm not picking against Bill Belichick. I'm sorry. They might get the brakes blown the fuck off of them. It's Bill Belichick. He's made the dance. I'm not picking against him. I'm sorry.
I understand.
Yeah, but it's not Bill Belichick with Tom Brady.
I don't
give a shit. But it's Bill Belichick and the Buffalo Bills. I'm picking Bill Belichick.
I understand you guys, and
Hey,
I kind of felt the same way, but I had to pick the Bills.
Josh Allen is taking a modified Viagra before the game for his blood flow. That dude's going to be running around.
I don't think they are. I don't think he is.
With a boner all over that fucking defense. He's going to be slapping dick in the face.
Nah.
Wow.
All right. Next game.
If I were you, Kadeen, I would clip this part.
I'm sending it to Bill. I'm sending it to Bill.
He's gonna
crucify you in your Zubaz pants.
He's gonna have 100 yards rushing and like 200-300 yards passing. It's gonna be a destruction.
Look, Buffalo looks like they finally, as a franchise, have turned the corner, right? Like Buffalo's that team that it's hard to root against. In the sense that you've seen what it is they've been through, and those fans, they've earned it the right way, unless your name's Ryan. The bottom line, as far as Buffalo fans, as far as the team goes, like Josh Allen's the shit. Like they have a squad. They should win this game.
They should
win this game. They are more talented than the New England Patriots. You heard me say it. That being said, there's certain guys I cannot pick against. You're going to see it. Spoiler alert. You think I'm picking against Tom Brady? No, I'm not picking against him. I'm sorry. It's not happening.
As soon as Nick Saban lost last week, my old rule is never pick against Nick Saban. I don't care where it is.
That's my final thought.
All right. So the next game, the Eagles and Bucks. K-Dot and I both have the Bucks. Who y'all got? Bucks. Okay. Ryan?
Do it. You love them. You love picking them. I swear you're a Jalen Hurts fan.
Yeah, I love that kid. Well, I know I got 1 over 2 of you on the last pick, so I'm gonna go Eagles. I got another pick that's gonna surprise many people. Also,
I think me and you probably have the same thing.
49ers and Cowboys.
Did you pick Eagles for sure?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to talk a little bit about that game real quick. It's a real quick thing. I don't know if you guys saw this, but like I can't remember if I put it in the chat or not. But basically, like Eagles like had a meeting after their like lost to, I forget who they lost to, and they scouted themselves and figured out that, hey, we need to run the ball.
Like everybody's been saying all fucking season.
I don't know why it took them so fucking long, but I just thought that was like just a sign of good coaching and a good organization. That's the type of shit you like to see from teams. And like, even though they're going to get their asses beat, I just thought it was a cool thing.
I know Tampa is touted as a very good run defense, but Devontae Smith is a problem. Dallas Goedert is a problem. If they can get rolling, we've seen fucking Tom put up duds this year, just randomly. If they can score some points, I think they'll be in the game. I think it'll be closer than people think. So.
Cool. All right.
And you got Jalen Hurts scrambling. Like, they're good run defense against the running back, not necessarily against a quarterback who can run. So.
K-Dot's camera's focusing on the bottom.
So I moved it center frame.
Yeah, no, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's like that Apple commercial. Am I out of focus?
Yeah, exactly. The bottom.
Yes, because you're not the main character.
I'm not. Now with beers involved, I don't care. No one gives a shit about me. Little old me, Medella. I know what I pick.
Yep. All right. 49ers and Cowboys. This game, I'm not 100% sure about, but I'm just going to pick the Cowboys.
I'm 100% sure the Cowboys are a better team. I'll pick the Cowboys.
I thought this was going to be the surprise of me and you agreed on, Ryan.
Oh, no. It's way worse than that.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
I think this is the big toss-up, though. I think this is one of the bigger toss-ups of the weekend for me. I wouldn't be surprised if either team wins. But if you're asking me to pick Jimmy G over Dak Prescott, then fuck you. I'm not doing that. So I'm running with Dak Prescott. I know he's been up and down all season, but lately, like he came on strong toward the end of the season. I'm rocking with the Cowboys, but this is a toss-up game. Maybe they fucking pull a Nick Saban and throw Trey Lance in there and like, oh shit, he is our best quarterback. We're gonna win this fucking game. We want the game. So I don't know, but
and Debo.
I love Debo. He did fantasy champion because of Debo. I just want to note that.
Yeah, Debo's ridiculous.
So I had a week 18 as a sidebar in my other league, my points only league, and I put in Patterson for the Washington, and because of him, when I should have put him in against you, I won that league. So,
wow.
I am going with the 49ers, and it's along the same lines of what I was saying sort of with the Raiders. It's what have you done for me lately? Now, I do know they put up 50-plus points in the last 2 out of 3 weeks, but it was against 2 NFC East opponents, and our division was trash. If you're looking at the other teams that they beat in that same run, New Orleans, who was playing quarterback then? Does anybody really know? Washington, then New York. They lost to Arizona.
Jameis Winston's corpse.
Then you look even back further than that, the overtime loss to Vegas on Thanksgiving. That's the last time I can look as far as the win that they have and be like, they beat a legitimate team. That was fucking week 12. So, like, I'm looking at San Francisco and seeing a team that's fucking battle-tested. These motherfuckers have been through a lot this season. And that's like, we went through one point of the season where, at least early on in the beginning of the season, I was like, is Kyle Shanahan becoming Jeff Fisherized in the sense of like the aura about him is more than what it is being produced on the field. And I'm looking at, if you look at the wins and losses before this season, I think it was a legitimate argument to make. And I think Kyle fucking heard it. These guys have just been playing fucking hard. And while I do like a lot of the weapons that Dallas has on offense, and they can hang with the best of them, there is not one more untacklable motherfucker in the league than Deebo Samuel at this particular point in time. I know I made the word up and I liked it.
Okay.
Untacklable.
Parsons.
Wait, he has 8 rushing touchdowns this year. Like, they can do some things where I just think San Francisco is just a rough and tumble team. It just gets the job done. If I'm looking at what it is they've done over the course of the last how many weeks, if we're talking about since week 12 for the Cowboys, we look at week 12 for San Fran. They beat Minnesota. They lost to Seattle, but division game, can understand that. They beat Cincinnati. They beat the shit out of Atlanta, so it wasn't like a close thing. They put Atlanta in their fucking place. The Tennessee loss, which was really, really close. And then the Rams in overtime. So I'm just saying, if I'm looking at San Francisco, I look at the playoffs and I look for what have you been through the season that makes it so that you can face adversity when it comes to a playoff game. And I like what San Francisco has. So
my issue with San Francisco is that Jimmy Garoppolo and Davis Mills have basically the same touchdown to interception line. And if you don't really have to guard super hard against the pass, like they have Debo, so just find that guy. Where's their offense going to come from? Just Debo Samuel, right?
Yeah.
It's beyond that.
Shout out to Ted from 49ers Twitter. He's one of the big people on 49ers Twitter. And I had a convo with him and he told me, he's the first person that told me how bad Jimmy G was. And I had no clue.
Yeah,
and
he throws receivers into death.
Yeah. And he showed me like a highlight tape, essentially. Jimmy G putting, like, not even just in games, but in practice.
Oh no, he loves laying people out.
He threw a post corner to Kittle to the point where the way Kittle landed, he could have tore everything in his knee, and there was nobody near him.
Why are you throwing that in practice? Why are you catching that in practice?
Why is he jumping for that shit in practice? But yeah, so I don't trust Jimmy G at all. I think they might shock the world and just put in Trey Lance like second quarter, and it's like, all right, it's your show.
That's how you get fired as a coach.
I just like to add that the team that, you know, K-Dot just kind of highlighted also lost to the Seahawks twice.
But they beat the Rams twice.
Hey, but like we said, I think this game is a toss-up. Like Zeke's going to run for 30 yards probably because it's what San Fran does, right?
I'm just.
It's all up to whether Dak, CD is Gallup. Who's out? Who's out for this? Is it Gallup?
Yeah, Gallup towards ACL or MCL. One of the two.
I mean, they're gonna have to get Pollard catching screen passes. It's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be a tough game, but I think if Dallas can if they can score enough, I don't think the Niners will be able to produce enough points.
We'll see. I mean, do y'all want to talk about the Cowboys anymore?
Third ranked defense, 7th ranked offense. I think San Francisco has been sneakily better than people think they are.
Yeah, but we'll see what Jimmy.
It was kind of like what you were saying, what you were yelling at me about in the last when we were talking about the Raiders thing, which is just win the game. Just it doesn't matter who you face, just win the game. I've been impressed with the way the San Francisco has just won the game. Like it's just been that's the thing is like at the end of the day, they just win the game. Now I think that their opponents have been a lot better than a lot of other teams, but they have just found a way to win the game. Elijah Mitchell, also a dude that I fucking really, really appreciate. And I appreciate all the running backs and everybody that they have in San Fran.
Yeah, they have a shit ton of running backs. All right,
no
next game.
Just producing.
Steelers versus the Chiefs. It sounds like Ryan is taking the Steelers, right? Okay.
God damn it.
I don't think that's that drastic, to be honest with you.
Me neither. You don't know what Chiefs team is gonna like show up. I'm picking the Chiefs, but still.
I'm taking the Chiefs too.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm being honest.
I think nobody saw Pittsburgh had a 6% chance of getting into the playoffs at the end of week 17 or week 16. How many fucking weeks are there now? 20?
You're right.
Week 17. Yeah. Nobody thought they were going to win and get in. And
I think that was mainly because of the Colts.
I don't know if you saw the presser with Ben Roethlisberger, where he was like, nah, we don't have a fucking chance. We're just going to go out there and have fun, play football. Those guys are going to be fucking ready.
Yeah. I mean, Tomlin's their head coach.
The better Watt is going to be out there creating problems. That defense is going to be up for it. Najee Harris is a better running back than I think anybody on the Chiefs have. If they can get rolling and possess the ball and run the ball well, because we know Ben can't really throw that well anymore, they got a chance. I think they're going to get up for Ben. I don't know if it works, but
I think it's going to be a close game regardless of the outcome. I think it's going to be a close game.
Do you see Ben slip out against the Ravens when there were like 3 dudes on him and he did it the old school Ben tuck and under, even though he's 6'9"?
Yeah.
To me, it depends on where they play Chris Jones. Yeah. He's practicing. But to me, it depends on where they put Chris Jones at. If he's interior or if he's on the edge. So when I see that, that'll determine a lot for me.
Give me Kansas City. And the reason to give me Kansas City, once again, what have you done for me lately? And I understand what it is they had to do to win out for the rest of the season, but I think that had more to do with Indianapolis just fucking tanking and Carson Wentz just coughing up everything. And then if I'm looking at Cleveland Browns has Baker Mayfield, who's a dead man at fucking quarterback. And then the Baltimore Ravens, who have been plagued with fucking injuries, even though you'd expect them to win, they did play hard as fuck with Huntley there behind center at quarterback. But if I'm looking at the discrepancy in talent and everything, Pittsburgh, if I looked at those 2 games, they should have won them to a certain degree. Kansas City played them the week before those 2 games, and they beat the shit out of them 36-10. They're playing in Arrowhead playoffs. These fucking fans are going to be rabid and insane. I like Kansas City. I think that the Mahomes thing has been something. The Kansas City Chiefs overall have been, for the most part, a lot of people in everybody's mind have been disappointed. But I think that's a lot of people remembering the beginning of the season, not the end of the season, because these motherfuckers have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of the last 10 fucking games. They're on a roll. And I look at Kansas City. I'm also looking at what have you done for me in the playoffs and what is your playoff pedigree? It's been a while since I've seen Ben Roethlisberger do shit in the playoffs with a team. Usually they need to have a defense in order for Pittsburgh to do shit. Their defense, I think, is ranked 26th or 27th in the league right now.
A lot of injuries.
Get it, regardless of how it is you get there. They're 26th or 27th against a fucking Kansas City team that you need all your guys playing at the best possible level they can play in to keep up with them. I think this feels like one of those games we're overthinking. because of the Ben Roethlisberger story recently, because of the way that Pittsburgh is fighting for Mike Tomlin and the fact that they've worked really hard. Baker Mayfield is a dead man. Kevin Stefanski's trying to kill him. Tyler Huntley showed flashes. He's still a backup quarterback in an offense that's built around Lamar Jackson doing things. Look back at our fucking 15 and out segment on Greg Roman. Kansas City should fucking run away with this game.
Got the
but we'll see.
You got the all-time sack
times leader.
Sacks leader.
Yeah. You gotta play the game.
Pittsburgh.
All right. The last game on the docket.
Holmes had his second best game of the season, like as far as like QB rating goes against the Steelers. He completed nearly 77% of his passes, threw for 258 yards, had 3 touchdowns.
He should come back to the mean, right?
How many picks?
No picks.
Oh, no picks. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
He hasn't thrown picks December 16th.
Yeah, so we'll see. It's like they call it a whole new season for a reason. All right, Cardinals and Rams. Right. And mind you, like I picked the Chiefs too, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers won. All right.
Yeah,
I would be surprised. Now, if it happens,
I'm not gonna be surprised if anything happens.
Playoff football, we all know anything can fucking happen in the playoffs, regardless. So it wouldn't be like but I think Kansas City is so much better than Pittsburgh is that they shouldn't even be like Pittsburgh should not be in the playoffs. Is the way that I look at it. They're not a team that belongs in the playoffs.
They're also not a team that anybody really wants to watch, if we're being honest. Like, nobody really wants to watch them play. Like, I don't want to see the corpse of Ben Roethlisberger, like, last more than, one game. Yeah. Like, that was the thing that upset me the most about them getting in the playoffs. I'm like, if they were still good, like, okay, at least you get to watch a good game. They're fucking shitty to watch, man.
Well, if y'all would have won,
we still would have got in.
Nah, the Chargers would have.
Yeah, but we wouldn't. But yeah.
Everybody wants to see Justin
we needed the Dolphins to lose, and they won.
Oh, you did?
So we still would have got in either way.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Which is stupid because the Dolphins were eliminated, but fuck it, whatever.
Oh, probably strength of schedule or...
Yeah, it's yeah.
All right.
The AFC North was the medical ward of the NFL this year, okay? We should say.
Yep. Cardinals and Rams. I have the Rams.
Rams.
Okay.
Matthew Stafford throws a pick six. They still win the game.
That's a good bet.
Ryan, you're picking the Cardinals, aren't you? Or are you going with the Rams? What you doing?
So pale.
So here is my issue with this game. If the Cardinals can get pressure like they have in like half their games this year for some reason, Matt Stafford makes mistakes. Kyler Murray is the fastest person on planet Earth. And the Rams lost their... I'm going with the Cardinals.
Okay. I'm going to say Aaron Donald and Von Miller and Jalen Ramsey.
Nobody are going to do what? Are going to catch Kyler? No.
I would just add that since DeAndre Hopkins has went down, Kyler Murray has dropped. Yeah. Like his performance has dropped. And since DeAndre Hopkins has went down, they went from like a good red zone offense team to a terrible one. Like Kyler Murray is currently completing somewhere in the 30% like percentages in terms of his passes in the red zone since DeAndre Hopkins has been down. It's not going to happen.
Who's your number one?
Kirk, I guess AJ Green, Rondale Moore. I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rondale Moore's one of them's hurt. There might be more.
See, there's more people hurt. So it's like, who the fuck are you gonna throw to?
It's the Rams in spite of Matt Stafford at this point, and I'm hoping that Matt turns the corner. I mean, he was my MVP pick going into the season. I really did think. And look, there was a certain point really early on the season. I didn't look completely crazy. Then it just
when did they vote for the MVP?
I think the votes are usually in the next week or so. And then we don't hear about it for a little bit.
Shit.
Okay. I think they vote like by end of like right after the season ends, like within a week.
I think it's somewhere around wildcard weekend.
It should. Right. I might be wrong, but I think they have to vote before the playoffs start because they wanted to make sure it's a
regular season award.
Okay.
Which is fair, but I'm looking at the Rams right now, and ever since their bye week, they have 2 losses. The Green Bay Packers game and the San Francisco 49ers game. I told you guys what I feel about San Francisco. And Green Bay, Jesus. they're going to be a problem for a lot of people this year, unless it's San Fran. I actually think they can beat them. But if I'm looking, they've just been doing it. Cooper Kupp. I think, James, were you the one that said that we should look at Cooper Kupp for MVP?
Yeah, he should get some consideration.
He should. There's no denying it at this point. He absolutely should. I should have never fought you in one iota for that. Cooper Kupp has had an absolutely fucking amazing season. Odell Beckham's looking better. Like they have some pieces on the offense. The only thing that they need to make sure that they have going into it, which is the only problem I have with the Rams, is that what happens to the run game when the playoffs start? What happened in the run game period for these guys? Like, I just need them to be able to run the ball and keep things pretty even as they go on. I know they try to pass themselves into run, or they treat the short passing game like that.
Cam Akers is back.
I know. I'm still saying
that's ridiculous. By the way,
I need them to. I need them to
that
really
is
get the run game.
That's fucking ridiculous.
They need to establish a running game.
It'll be limited.
Well, they got Sonny Michel, Daryl Henderson, and
they need to really establish a running game. I'm just saying. So that's what I'm saying.
They got the pieces to do it.
Yeah, they do.
That's for damn sure.
But if I'm looking at let's look at the rushing offense against San Francisco, 64 yards. Against Baltimore, 73 yards. They haven't cracked 100 those weeks. Then Minnesota, they went off 159.
None of that shit matters.
Hey, I got the pieces.
None of that shit matters.
I got the pieces to make a house. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
You can say none of it matters, but you still have to be able, in order to assess what's going on with the team, we got to look at what they've done. And that's what I'm just looking at.
To be fair, we have the best run defense in the league. To be fair.
What, Baltimore?
And then also the fact that they got Cam Akers now.
Baltimore. Well, he's on definitely gonna be on a snap restriction.
Yeah, but
they're not risking the whole next season for game one of the playoffs.
But I mean, we'll see. That's why they gotta play the game. You never know. All right,
I'm looking at Arizona's run defense.
That's all the picks
20th
that we've got. So, anybody want to talk anything else or final thoughts?
Fuck you. I'm hosting. Shut the fuck up. So that was our picks there as far as the Big 7 going into playoffs. I think that's it. Plus, I kind of want to go eat something. So we're going to do final thoughts now. And it's official because I said it. Okay.
I'll start.
All right. Go ahead, Gabe.
and Keno was going to start. He was going to start with his own final thought.
I wasn't. I swear to God. I don't even know what my final thought is yet.
I saw it in your eyes.
Go Dogs. They fucking did it, man. They got me $100 because I bet on their sorry ass, and they fucking did it. UGA did it. They finally beat Nick Saban, like Kirby Smart. I can't believe it. It was a decent game. The first half was kind of shitty. Second half was good. An entertaining game. It was a bit of a slugfest. They finally got that monkey off their back. It must be the year of Georgia sports because this shit is wonky as hell. Got the Braves winning. Got UGA. And then, the Falcons are existing.
Ridley, piece of
and the Hawks traded Cam Reddish to the Knicks for no reason whatsoever.
Wait, what were they doing? And
Calvin Ridley, though?
A first-round pick, and then what, Kevin Knox?
Break.
Yeah. And it's a protected first-round pick, too. It's protected top 18.
That is...
Yeah. And they got Cam Reddish to put with RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. I love that for the Knicks. It's the best move they made in years.
I mean, what sucks is that Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett have never played together. They'd probably be really good if they had a whole lot of experience playing together.
I wish they had some chemistry or something.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
And last thing, just put some respect on John Morant's name, and that's all.
Oh, man, I don't know if he's a good basketball player, but he's the most athletic dude I have ever seen. Like
MJ?
No, I mean, he is athletic wise. There's no current player that can be doing the stuff that he's doing.
Yes.
Hands down.
Well, I would say Rose, but he can't.
Derrick Rose.
That's what they're comparing to.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose in his prime, yes.
Yeah.
The issue
Not
is
now.
the knees.
Yeah. Yeah.
John Morant just needs to keep eating his fiber and shit, keep those joints moving real good. I just want to say, as my final thought, I want to welcome back the Splash Brothers. I love that Clay's back. It's good for the sport. I also love that they're shooting 18.2% from three tonight, and they're down by 40. That being said, the Washington Wizards seem to be a much better team without Bradley Beal on the court, and I don't know why that is.
Spencer Dinwiddie's team.
Trade him to Dallas.
Patrick Ewing theory.
I think that Bradley Beal puts up some gaudy numbers in games that they still lose. Although Russell Westbrook triple-double, 20 points. They lose by 20. I think it might be time for the Wizards to move on because they look they don't always win by a lot, but they seem to be winning more consistently without being on the court. And I hate that. So I'm kind of glad he's not vaxxed. Hopefully he just sits out with COVID for like the next 4 months or something. I don't know.
That's
never wish on people. Yeah. All right.
No,
so
not because he's like super sick, but he just keeps testing positive and just sits at home.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna start. I have 2 final thoughts. I'm gonna start with the most important.
No, I'm joking. Sorry. Okay.
17.4% now.
Happy 35th anniversary to my parents. Yeah, they had you get a couple scares like if people aren't going to be here anymore over the years, but they still here, still kicking. So yeah, go find them and give everybody a hug. Yeah. All right. Second thing, there should be, you know how I talked about how Cooper Kupp should get consideration for MVP. Rich Bisaccia should get consideration for Coach of the Year. Yeah. No team has had to deal with all the shit. I mean, granted, most, if not all of it, was self-inflicted. Shut up. Let me say it. It's my final thought. And I was I'm not going to argue there. That's my point. It's kind of self-inflicted, but it wasn't him. He came in and dealt with it. Same thing with Derek Carr. If there was any QB on the team other than Derek Carr, we probably wouldn't have got through it. It doesn't even matter if they were more talented than Derek. If you put Aaron Rodgers on this team, I don't think we would be where we are.
I mean, Derek Carr is just he's a leader, and he's also.
I'm not I'm not talking about on the field though.
No, but he's a leader in the way where he cares.
You smile, I'm not talking about on the field. I'm talking about
he genuinely cares about his players.
Exactly what you mean. I just don't think he's the only one that's capable of being a great leader enough to get them.
No. I'm not talking about just being a great leader. Of course, to be a QB, you kind of need to be a good leader, but not of them all.
But also,
not of them are, but still.
Sometimes you got to be in those situations where everything is seemingly crashing down. If you're not supportive and being a friend to your close teammates and the rest of the offense, that shit could have shattered, right? You could have people not showing up.
But it's after one thing after another. It's imagine Aaron Rodgers in that situation.
He'd have just grown a beard or some shit. I don't know.
Showing his toes, distracting from the truth. All right, that's all I got.
But he's immunized. Don't worry about it.
All right. I'll follow you. I got 2. One quickly. Tom Brady's my MVP. Outside of that, even though I think Aaron Rodgers has had a hell of a season, that goes to my MVP versus best quarterback award. I think they might be different. But Tom Brady, I just think the fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, for the first time in a very long time, he has a worse defense than Aaron Rodgers. So I'm just saying statistically, everybody wants to hold that above him. He has statistically a worse. And also from a help standpoint, I mean, Antonio Brown basically not ever being there. Chris Godwin's been gone for how long? And Mike, he's had to deal with some shit. And he's still producing at a very high level and doing all the shit necessary. And I really do believe that he's going to do some things going forward.
Shout out to Tom Brady for getting Gronk that paycheck.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. And
congratulations on a career. Congratulations on a great career, Richard Sherman. I didn't know you were did anybody else know you retared?
Yeah, he got hurt and it was over.
Yeah, so they put him on IR and he just retired.
Yeah, if somebody's making a playoff run like Tampa Bay next year and then just need somebody at body, he'll probably come back. But he'll Eric Weddle it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats to him.
Yeah, no shit. Just go right in there for the Super Bowl. Forgot about Eric Weddle coming back. Another reason LA is fucking shit. Also, I was afraid to say this a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it now. And I'm gonna leave it here. We don't need to discuss this. I think Steph Curry is gonna be the greatest basketball player of all time when it's all said and done. And I've been doing some soul searching. I've been really thinking about it. I don't want to say it. I just rewatched The Last Dance for the like this third time. I think when it's all said and done, Steph Curry is going to be considered the greatest player to have ever suited up in an NBA uniform. And I know, Keem, it's fucking crazy. We don't need to.
You'll hear more about this on 15 and Out.
Yeah. All right. So that's been an episode of ASOS. And if you made it this far, what the fuck is wrong with you? Outside of that, if you did make it this far, I mean, you got to be a number one fan, so you're already probably subscribed and everything. Because really, something's fucking wrong with you. If you made it this far in this fucking goddamn video, something's really wrong with you. But that's
always the 1%.
I'm K-Dot, Keem, Ryan, James. I didn't really like hosting. I think I want to give this back to James next week.
Oh yeah,
I'm over this shit. I fucking hate
it's our 100th episode. So
100th episode. Yeah, there we go. It's a one-off. There we go.
And that I'm still bothered by your fucking goddamn 1992 printer paper.
James is poor. If you didn't know, now you know, because I told you. Bye, guys.
Love you guys. Later.